We're here at the Aramco Team Series Korea in the Aramco Powered by House studio. I'm with my guest, Bronte Law. We're actually going to see your recent win, but you've had some incredible starts. 3 top 3s in the last 6 starts. That's amazing for this year. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good. I think if, Nelly wasn't just taking all the limelight of her wins, it'd look a little better than that. But yeah, no, really happy with the way it started and, hoping for that to continue.
Now, what has changed? Let's look at this. You've played 6 events. You had the win at the Merriam Cup. What's kind of changed for you mentally? Physically, you look, fit. You're looking great out there, but what's the difference?
Yeah, I think that, there's always a number of factors. It never seems to just come down to one thing. Struggled last year, but, worked really hard on a lot of things and, had a really good off-season working with Ian Woosnam in Barbados, implementing a lot of the stuff that I worked on with my coach back home, Richard Green, and working with my longtime, psychologist, Carl Morris, who, was my first psychologist when I was really young, and just, it's been a long journey, but one that I've been very strict with, what I've been doing and what I've been working on, and it's nice to kind of see those things pay off when, sometimes it takes like diving off in the deep end of the unknown and not knowing whether that's going to work. But it's always nice to see a plan, come into fruition, and it's been great.
Well, let's look at your win actually, right here, that winning putt.
Struggling to get the ball out of the hole there.
That was the only struggle this week, though. No, but what is this feeling? I mean, you said you struggled a little bit last year. You've had your coach since you were 7.
Yeah.
So what is the new perspective that you've gotten from Woosnam and just working with him?
Yeah, I think, obviously he's an incredible golfer, Hall of Famer, and there's just so much advice and, he just provides such a great perspective of someone who's been so successful in what they do, and just being around him and hearing stories from when he played, and him showing me videos of when he won the Masters, and just like analyzing the swing like that. It's been really awesome, and an absolute I'm so lucky that I get to do that. Any opportunity to work with, a Hall of Famer, you absolutely grab it and you take it with 2 hands and just run with it. And I've absolutely done that.
Well, you've taken it with 2 hands, but you told me a little bit about throwing it as well with him. So can we look at some of maybe just kind of what you're working on with him? I know you're talking about distance, but you said you would chuck the club.
Yeah, like chucking clubs and all sorts of stuff.
You don't have to throw it, but
just trying to get the club to release in my hands, and I think it's something that I've not necessarily found that it's come naturally to me. So we tried all sorts of interesting things on the range, and got some weird looks from people.
But you're natural. Would you say that your fade is natural, or that's just something that you guys has been consistent in your game?
I think, we talked about earlier the idea that in women's, in the women's game, it's always been about accuracy. For me,
right.
I found that fading the ball would always, give me the most accuracy. But now in a world where the ball needs to, go further, and, I've kind of let go of that idea that drawing the ball isn't necessarily, an accurate way to control the ball. So, I guess holding on to, things that you've thought your whole life and just letting go, kind of frees you up in a way to new opportunities and perspectives.
Can we see you do one of your hold-off swings?
I guess.
And then we'll see your
I will try my best. Yeah, absolutely. We'll try and hit that fade.
So what are you hitting right now?
A little 7-iron.
Okay. So your stance is slightly open. Your fade, and let's clarify, fade is really almost a straight shot.
Yeah, it's like a little hold up against the wind. We got a little wind off the right there, but for me that's a very comfortable shot for me to go out there and play. And like in Morocco,
Right.
standing on that last fairway with the water down the left and the ball above my feet. It seemed very natural to want to hit that shot. So
Yeah.
I did, and hit probably one of the best shots I'd hit all week, which is saying a lot because I hit quite a few, but just under the pressure, under the circumstances, being able to pull off that shot when it's something that I've always worked on so hard. It felt really good. So yeah.
So can you now hit? Oh, so the face was a little bit open. Talk through like what a feel.
So face a
hold-up.
little open, probably shoulders a little open, feet a little open, and then I'm kind of just swinging along the path of my feet and my shoulders.
Can you set up to it really quickly so we can see? Okay.
And kind of just swinging along that path left, holding the face square through the ball, which is the opposite of what I was working on with getting the face to release. So I guess those are the two biggest things with my shot shaping that has changed over the last 6 months or so.
So now, what does a release look like? And speaking of releases, you've released a couple other things in your life too.
Yeah.
So, actually, talk to us about this cold shower thing.
Yeah. So my good friend Anne Van Dam is to blame for that one. So last year, it was April, I didn't get into Chevron. I was really struggling, not being able to, get any good results, and really in particular with my putting, I decided that doing cold plunges and showers was the way to go. We're going to change the neuro pathways, and everything was going to be fixed, which of course it didn't happen. However, it did help with a number of other things, and for me, talking with my psychologist, I still do it every day. It's the first thing I do when I get out of bed, and it's the hardest thing I do every day, but that's why I do it, because as soon as I've even set foot out of my room, I've already done the most difficult thing I can do, and then going out on the golf course seems like the easiest thing I could do. So it just is changing those kind of ways of thinking, and those like negative thoughts that you have all of a sudden start to go away, because you're out there achieving, and everything I do in my practice each day is all about setting small goals so that I can have small victories, which in turn lead to bigger victories, and having that mindset and ability to be able to tell myself that I'm good enough and that I'm able to achieve these things.
Well, you're definitely good enough. Can you hit a couple draws for us?
I can.
Or talk us through some of the drills that you guys would do here as well.
Yeah, so the biggest thing with the draw was setting up closed. I never wanted to have my right shoulder back. It always wanted to be open. So he would wrestle with me to get my right shoulder back. But, naturally, as soon as I took the right shoulder back, hitting that draw felt very easy. We would attach like a weight around the end of the grip that had like a heavy ball, and what that would do, we'd hit small shots like this, and it would just, the weight of the ball would cause the face to release naturally. So I would hit 3 or 4 shots like that, and then would go into a full swing and would snap hook it, because obviously I had no control over the face whatsoever. But in time, I've learned, kind of how to release the face properly. So,
all right, let's see one.
Okay.
That's beautiful.
So kind of.
But it's funny, you've freed yourself up not only from just that one shot shape. Now, when you go out to the course, you've got this ability to work it both ways, but also in your life, you've kind of
absolutely
let go of your own obligations, right, to the sport. You're still working as hard as ever.
Yeah.
You said this was one of the hardest off seasons training-wise.
Yeah.
But talk to me about,
Yeah, I mean, it was hard for many reasons. It was hard because, like I was saying, so many things that I've always done my whole life, the success that I've had, on the LPGA, I've played golf this particular way, and it was no longer serving me. And it's so hard to, go from playing successful golf one way and thinking, well, I want to just go back to that way, but for whatever reason, it wasn't working at this point in my life anymore. So, you can't just keep forcing something to happen when it doesn't want to happen. So, kind of pulled it all away and, you know, looked at what is working, what isn't, and yeah, just really like trusted the people around me, and, you know, honestly owe a lot to them, because I definitely wouldn't be here, you know, doing what I'm doing now without them, and without all the hard work and the time that they've dedicated into figuring out how my brain works and how, you know, my body works, and the best course of action in order to, you know, get me back to, you know, kind of being more, you know, achieving, you know, what I should be achieving, really.
Well, it's really amazing that you have such a team you can trust in, and we love your dedication to this sport. We love what you're doing this year, and really look forward to you playing this week. I can't wait to watch both your draw and your fade.
Absolutely, yeah. You're going to see them both.
But thank you for coming into the studio, and I love speaking with you.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.